Hello and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we're going to restore a Johnny Lightning custom turbine. Now this car was one of the original cars released by Johnny Lightning back in 1969. The windshield is missing. There's a bubble top that goes on top of it. I did happen to find one, but some of the tabs are missing off of it, so we'll have to do the best we can. We'll go ahead and get this car apart and see what we're dealing with. Now the interior on this car could come unpainted like you see here, or it could actually come painted too. It could come in red, it could come in black, and it also could come in white. We may wind up painting the interior to make it look like one of the original Johnny Lightnings right off the assembly line, but we'll do the best we can, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. I've already drilled out the posts. Now the posts on these cars, as I've said to you in the past, are incredibly narrow and very short. So you've got to be real careful when you're going to drill these things out. The base is in good shape, but one of the rear wheels where the axle connects to the body or the base is loose. So we're going to have to glue that back in place. Here's the windshield that I found. As you can see on the inside, some of the tabs are missing. So again, we're going to have to do the best we can with this since there's no replacement parts.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Let's go ahead and drill the post for our screws. Taking the 1/16 inch drill bit because we're going to put in the 1-72 screws. And we're going to use the 1/8 inch length screws here. Take your time and drill really slow. You've got to guesstimate how long the post is by how far you're drilling. Now you can pre-mark the drill with a marker, but you can also check and see how deep the drill bit has gone already, and I'll show you here in a moment how I do it. Sometimes you just have to take a chance here, but just be careful so you don't drill through the car itself. That would definitely ruin your day. Get a little closer here so you can see. What I do is I put my fingernail on there and then I see how far I've gone into the post. Now as long as that's enough to get your 1/8 inch screw in, then you're good to go. This one here we may have to go just a little bit farther. Just keep an eye on it and be careful. You can see the little pieces of metal falling out, which means that it's getting deeper. That should be just about right. Let's go ahead and check and measure it one more time. Put your fingernail down there, pull it back. That's how deep we've gotten. So that's going to be plenty deep enough for a 1/8 inch length screw. Now let's flip it around and do the other side and pretty much do the same procedure. Getting a lot of the big stuff out of there now with those metal curlicues there. Clean off your drill and then start drilling again. Yeah, we're definitely making some headway here. You just got to be real careful. Let's check the depth here. Nope, screw it. Let's drill a little more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Alright, we made some headway. Maybe just a little bit more on there and we should be done. I can't tell you how many times I've just gone too fast and drilled through the whole body of the car. So again, you can't go slow enough on this step, especially when you've got an older car like a Redline or these old Johnny Lightnings, because if you drill a hole in those things and go through the whole body, you're going to be saying some curse words for sure. Alright, well that's definitely long enough there. Let's go ahead and get some screws in that bad boy. That's looking good. Now I've got these screws here. People say, oh, you know, the self-tapping screws and like that. They're all self-tapping, okay? It just depends on how deep you can get them in. Now these are the 1/8 inch screws. You usually don't have a hard time with these. But if you try the longer screws, yeah, you might be able to get them in most of the way. But then that little tip there on the screwdriver, unless you're using like a Phillips head or something, you can strip those things right out. So you got to be really careful. Just make sure that your screw goes in far enough to where it's going to accept the body attached to the chassis. There you go. They're bottomed out on the post, so they're good to go. Let's move on. Let's put that body in the embalming fluid, or aka citrus strip. I'm calling it embalming fluid now. Why? Because I can.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
We'll let that sit in the embalming fluid for a few hours. Now we got this bubble windshield. We're going to try and polish it up as best we can and make it look nice and clean. Like I was saying before, Johnny Lightnings are hard to get parts for. They're incredibly hard to find parts for, so if you happen to find something on eBay or you got a friend that gives you a bunch, hold on to everything you can find, because if you plan on doing any of these Johnny Lightning cars, you're going to need parts. And if you buy a car off of eBay or wherever and you're missing wheels and windshields and other parts and like that, you might as well pick up another car, because that's pretty much the only way you're going to get those parts to restore a car. And like I said, unless you know somebody or can make your own stuff, that's the only way to get them, folks. Because nobody that I know of is making them. If you happen to know of anybody, please let me know so I can share it with everybody. That's starting to look a lot better. It's a lot better than the one it came with, I'll tell you that, because we didn't have any windshield before. That Meguiar's Plastex polish is good stuff. I think I got it at AutoZone. It's like $7 or $8 a bottle, but it goes quite a long way, so that's what I use. But pretty much anything that does the job for you is good enough. If you get a chance, check out my Amazon store. I've got a Diecast Graveyard storefront where I post a lot of the things that I use to do my restorations and to do my customs, such as airbrushes, some of the tools I use, etc. Check out my storefront. There'll be a link in the comments section of this video. Here we're going to use the Blue Magic Metal Polish Cream, and we're going to polish up the body. Now the body's in pretty good shape. There's not really any toning or anything to it, but it definitely could be polished up to make it look that much better. So we're going to use this Blue Magic Metal Polish Cream. I also use Flitz, which is a good product, but this is good stuff. I don't like the liquids. This is a little bit thicker. It's like a cream, so it sticks on there pretty good. Go ahead and get your polishing bonnet going on there. And I gotta turn up the speed here a little bit. There we go. And just start polishing. Keep moving that polishing bonnet so you don't burn the metal. And it's already starting to look really nice. Look at that. That's starting to look real cool. Just get the whole body, keep moving. If you have to use more cream, please do. Now when you finish this all up and you get all in the nooks and crannies as best you can, you're going to have to scrub it down with a degreaser. And I use ZEP, Z-E-P degreaser. I get mine at Lowe's. I also use Super Clean. Super Clean is a really good product. It's also good for taking chrome off of plastic parts, and we'll be covering that here in a future video and showing you how to do that. If you happen to need more polishing cream, just go ahead and put some more on there and keep on buffing. It's starting to look really nice. Now, of course, the nicer you have the body underneath, the nicer your paint's going to look. Now, if you're using the Spectraflame paint, then definitely you want to use some cream here and polish up your body so the shine from your metal base shows through. If you're going to cover it with opaque paint, then you don't have to polish it up so much. Just get it nice and smooth. And that's starting to look sweet. There we go. Now we'll take the cloth and rub it down. And then, like I said, as soon as we're done rubbing this all down and polishing it up by hand, then we're going to get it to the sink and use the Zep, spray it down, and I scrub it down with a soft bristle toothbrush, trying to concentrate on those areas, like in between where that engine is in the back and everything. That looks nice. That's going to paint up sweet. Let's move on. Here we got the car on the helping hands, and we're going to return it to the purple that we had on the original car. So I get the inside of the car first and the fender wells. Real light coat, a tack coat. Once I'm done spraying my tack coat on, I'll let it sit up for about 5 to 10 minutes just to give it a little bit of time to tack up and allow to, when you spray more paint on there, it will give it something to hold on to. Purple's going to look nice on this, especially with that real shiny metal underneath. That's looking real sweet. We'll let that set for a bit. We'll spray it up with a little bit more paint. And then I'll show you what the results were. Looking good. Here's the finished product. Look how nice that turned out. A beautiful deep purple. Damn, that's a pretty color. Looking good.
Waiting for the paint to dry.
We'll let that set overnight. Here we got the body repainted in a beautiful Spectraflame purple. I put the bubble top on. Here's the interior. I colored in the tail and the interior. The car's pretty simplistic, but it turned out pretty good. Here's what we started with. A Johnny Lightning Turbine. Or should I say a custom turbine. The car is pretty wild looking. Johnny Lightning definitely had their fantasy cars down. We took the car apart. We cleaned it up. We painted it up. We polished the glass. Now the tabs are broken on the glass. We did the best we could to secure it without, covering it with a whole bunch of glue and everything. So sometimes you're just going to have to do the best you can because, again, there's no parts available for it. We touched up the tires and we cleaned it up, and this one was fun. I mean, the paint job turned out phenomenal and the body polished up super nice. But this is definitely a car that you would want to put in your collection if you're collecting the Johnny Lightnings. It was a lot of fun to restore, and I really had a really good time doing this car. And this is how it turned out. The paint job turned out absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful purple Spectraflame paint. Man, that thing turned out nice. Now the roof for the glass on top, we did the best we could with that. And if I happen to find another one with tabs on it and like that, we'll replace it. But for what it is, the car turned out absolutely beautiful. Now this car here is for my friend Ricky up in Brooklyn, New York. He had one of these cars when he was a kid and he really enjoyed it, and I made this car for him. So I'm going to send this to Ricky up in Brooklyn, my friend, and I know you're going to enjoy it, brother. So it was a lot of fun redoing this car for you. Cheers. Now, I've got a Patreon page, and I go through, and these folks donate once a month to me, and all the money that they donate goes to buying supplies so I can do these videos for you. And I sure could use your help. There'll be a link to the Patreon page in the comments section of this video. Please check it out. Like I said, folks, I could use your help, helping me with supplies so I can keep these videos going for you. Please put a comment in the comment section. Now, just because you don't like Johnny Lightning is not a reason to give it a thumbs down. We're going for the workmanship here and the enjoyment and the entertainment of these videos. Thanks for joining me here today in Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul, and cheers.